Alright, in this tutorial I'm gonna go over just kind of how to make a simple collage. So in Photoshop, and probably the first thing you want to do is just kind of gather your photos and create a folder. So I'm just gonna jump in and kind of, I already have this folder created and I've probably got more photos than I need. Probably get about five to six, maybe around that area. So when you're downloading photos, probably the best thing to do is just go in and find what you're looking for. So I kind of just did a search for skiing and stuff. And then don't just download this first little icon. Click on it, and then you want to right mouse click and then go to save image as, and basically download it that way. And as long as it's a JPEG or a PNG, you're in good shape there. You could also drag it. If I jump over here, if you're wanting to just click, hold, and drag and drop it over, that's another easy way to save your images as well. Same thing, maybe you have a whole bunch of photos in your Google Photos or something. Just click on the one that you want to download, and then usually you can come over here to this little three-prong thing and just kind of click download on there. Okay, so once you've got your photos all, you're ready to get into Photoshop, and you're going to create a document like this. So I'm going to just do a File New, and pick the size that you want. I'm just doing an 8.5 by an 11 on here, and you can kind of pick the dimensions you want to choose. But so 8.5 by 11, landscape, but once again you could do portrait if you wanted to. So as you start to build this, probably the easiest way is to just go to your images and just kind of click and drag to drop them in one at a time, or if you wanted to, you could drag them all in at the same time as well. So when they come in, they'll probably come in kind of big. So resize them. If it's not constraining it, hold down Shift. Mine's already constraining it, so I don't have to hold that down. But sometimes you have to hold it down. And then just press Return to complete that. I'm going to grab these other ones. So I'm holding down Command to select those other ones, and I'm just going to drag those all in at the same time. And they'll want me to resize them. Throw that over, bring that one down. So I'm just kind of resizing them just as they come in. And I think I got one more. And they'll come in all in as separate layers and everything. So now I can start to kind of position them and click on the layer that you want to move. This one I want to keep part of it, but I'm going to get rid of part of it too. So to do that, if I grab this quick selection tool, I can kind of click on the parts that I want to keep, and then down here at the bottom there's this little icon, the mask tool, and that lets me kind of take out the parts that I don't want. Let's see. So Command T or Control T on a PC. I'm on a Mac, so Command T kind of works. So I'm going to place that. And then I think I've got one more. And if you want things in front, you just click, hold, and drag, and you can put it in front. So maybe this one I want to kind of crop that one a little bit too. So I'm going to grab this guy again, the rectangular marquee tool, and just kind of click and drag, and then click on that mask layer, and that kind of cuts that for me and everything. So I want to resize kind of everything really quick. So if I click on one, hold down Shift to click on the top, Command T, and I can resize it a little bit. Then press Return, and then I can kind of continue to move these things around. So maybe I'll put this over here. Another little trick I'm kind of doing right now is if you hold down Command, you can click automatically on some of these and move them around without having to come over here and just click on them and then move them that way. So that can be a nice little feature as well. I think I'll put that one in front a little bit. This one right here, I want to put that up to the top. This one's a little bit too small now, so Command T to resize it. Position that, and then this one, resize that a little bit maybe, and put that behind. Okay, so once you get them all laid out, then I want to kind of place a background a little bit, and I'm going to put some text in here too. So once I have those in there, you have this background layer, and the easiest thing to do is if you click and hold on the gradient tool, there's a paint bucket, and you can just drop in whatever color you want for that. If you want to do a little bit more than that, there is the gradient tool. So click and hold on the paint bucket, and you can click and drag, and that'll kind of drag that out. So click, hold, and drag. If you don't like that color, here's my color schemes. There's a bunch of defaults. This first one is kind of dependent upon whatever those two are. Or you can just click on it like I just did. So click on it, and then I could come in here and change the colors out. And I could add a color if I wanted to. And then you can also move these around to whichever area you want, and then you just click, hold, and drag to kind of place that back in there. Go up and down or whatever you feel like doing. There also are some other types of gradients you can play with if you wanted to kind of play with those too. Okay, so I'm going to kind of just stick with that for now, and then I'm going to add some text in there. And just single click, don't click and drag on this. You single click, that'll get you some title text. And I'm just going to type in some text in there. Grab the move tool to move it to where you want it to go. Command T to resize this too. And I could just go into the text tool and resize it there, but I'm just going to do it kind of here. And if I want that in front, I can kind of throw that in front too and position that. If you want to change the font out, click on the text tool and just kind of click on your font up here. And then you can just choose whichever font you want. And if you want to add other text, just single click away from it. And then maybe I'll change the font on that too to something different and move that. Maybe I'll change the color of it, so click back on the text tool and click on the color and position that. And then I'm going to duplicate that, so if you right mouse click, you can sometimes duplicate things, or I'm just going to hold down the Alt key and duplicate it that way. And then just click on the T to the text tool and place that in there. So the last thing I want to do is I want to do a little bit of styling with my photos and maybe even my text. So if I click on and just double click, I can click on that, and in here I can put like a stroke on there if I wanted to. If you click on the word, it actually lets you change it up, and right now I'm on this gradient style, which is actually kind of cool. Maybe I'll just keep that. If you want to just do a solid color, you can do that too, but I'm going to just stick with this gradient style that's kind of interesting. You can also throw in gradients within. Maybe I'll just leave it as solid. You can also do outer glows, and if you click on the word, that's where you can kind of really modify and change it. There's drop shadows, all kinds of fun stuff in there. I could do the same kind of to my pictures. So if I click on one of my pictures, double click, and on these you don't want to do like these color overlays or gradients. You probably more want to do like a stroke or a glow. So I'll just use that same stroke maybe, and maybe I'll use a drop shadow. And I want to have that same effect on all these other ones. So I'm going to just go ahead and right mouse click, copy layer styles, and then select on one and hold down Command to select on the other ones, and then right mouse click, and I can paste all those at the same time, and now I've got that kind of laid out. So position those, and I've got my collage made. Save it as a PSD and a JPEG, and you're good to go.